Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent podcast. I'm your host, Moonwalker Tanya. Okay, so in this episode, I want to talk about confidentiality agreements and NDAs, also known as non-disclosure agreements. And I studied business in college. I actually have my degree in business, and I was curious if they were basically the same thing, and they are sort of similar. Now, an NDA is usually signed when it comes to businesses and legal situations to protect sensitive information. Now, a confidentiality agreement is basically used for employment or for personal situations, so they are very similar. Now, there are some differences between them, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people, and particularly the MJ haters, they've been trying to say that the confidentiality agreement or the settlement from '94 silenced the Chandlers. Now, I'm going to talk about the settlement in a separate video, but what I am going to say is that the confidentiality agreement does not prevent Jordan from ever coming forward. And Jordan's lawyer even said that the settlement did not silence him or prevent him from testifying in any way, shape, or form. And it also did not prevent the criminal case from going forward, which there wasn't a criminal case in the 90s. Because that's when the Chandlers refused to cooperate after that. Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, I've heard a lot of different stories, like with other celebrities that have been accused of things where their alleged victims would say, oh, well, I was afraid to come forward because I was afraid of being either blacklisted or I signed an NDA. But here's the thing, though. A confidentiality agreement or an NDA should be used for businesses to protect, very sensitive information. Like, for example, let's say if you worked at a restaurant and the owner, created a recipe and they wanted, a certain ingredient to remain a secret, they would probably have their employees sign, I would say, probably a confidentiality agreement for that one, so that they wouldn't tell anybody, because obviously business is competition, and obviously if you create a secret recipe or something, obviously you don't want other businesses to find out about it. It's all about competition, baby. I mean, I have a degree in business, so I definitely know that. And also, from my own personal experience, there was a time when I worked in a call center and I did phone surveys for a lot of different companies. But even to this day, even though I don't work for that call center anymore, I am not allowed to tell anyone which companies I used to do surveys for. And you may be thinking, well, Tanya, did you sign an NDA or a confidentiality agreement? Well, unless it was part of my contract, I don't remember particularly signing one, but my managers, team leaders, and my boss would advise us multiple times, do not tell anyone who we do surveys for. And that's pretty much all I needed, So there is a difference there, but the reason why this is important is because an NDA or a confidentiality agreement is supposed to protect business or legal kind of things, but they are not supposed to protect alleged abusers and to silence victims. It just seems like every time when I try to look into these things, that seems like how some people are trying to portray it, and that's wrong. Yeah, these agreements are supposed to protect the business and the employees if things happen. But if your manager or a boss or coworker, or even like when you're working with celebrities or directors, managers, producers, whatever, if any abuse ever takes place, a confidentiality agreement and an NDA should not protect the abuser. And I even remember, I'm not sure if you guys know who Janette Mccarty is. She played Sam Puckett on iCarly. So she wrote a book. I'm not really fond of the title, obviously. The title of her book is called I'm Glad My Mom Died. I've listened to half of the book. I have it on audio CD. And I remember that she was offered $300,000 from Nickelodeon as hush money, and she refused to take it. So, you know, and I've heard about some things that she went through when she was working at Nickelodeon, and even when she told her mother said, Janette, do you know how many girls would love to be in your shoes right now? Well, let me put it to you this way. Based on what I've heard that happened at Nickelodeon, I would not want anyone to be in that situation. I even heard that the director, who I'm not going to say his name right now just because I'm not sure if YouTube is sensitive to that right now, but his initials are DS. His first name is Dan, so that should help. It was alleged that he made Janette drink alcohol on the set of iCarly when she was only 19, because he said that she had to loosen up a little bit. Like, I mean, yeah, I know that's not the worst thing that Nickelodeon has been accused of, but still, that is messed up. I don't approve of that, and I would certainly not want my underage child to be forced to do something like that. So, yeah, I mean, confidentiality agreements and NDAs, you know, they are important to business, but they don't protect the abusers, and they shouldn't be treated as if they are. You know, if employees see something, they should say something, because otherwise they are allowing it to happen. For example, with Adrien McManus, she claimed that she saw Michael abused Jordan, but she said, oh, well, Michael threatened me, or, oh, I had a confidentiality agreement in my contract, so I couldn't say anything. That's bullshit. So, I know I said this before in my Adrien video, but I'm going to say it again. Okay, Adrien, so if you saw Michael abuse your son, would you say, oh, well, I couldn't do anything because Michael threatened me, or I have a confidentiality agreement on contract, so he had to abuse my son? I mean, yeah, you are a shitty person, Adrien, but I don't think she would go that far, you know. Especially when she even tried to claim that the $300 tip that Michael gave her was hush money. That's bullshit. Sounds like it's pretty easy to buy her silence based on that statement. And then the MJ haters treat her like she's a hero. But here's the thing, though. Even though Michael's innocent, if that happened, she let it happen. It is so ridiculous. Yeah, so that's just a little something I wanted to say. And also, we also have to remember that, you know, the difference with the confidentiality agreement, I will say this, that it just prevented Michael or Jordan to talk about the allegations in detail in interviews, basically. Because Evan Chandler tried to sue Michael, I think it was for the Diane Sawyer interview, I believe. He claimed that Michael violated the confidentiality agreement, but thankfully he lost that case. But you have to remember, though, that if Jordan ever wanted to come forward, he could have. Yeah, I mean, nothing stopped him from going to a criminal case lawyer and say, like, I want to file charges now. I'm ready to go for this. You know, he never did that. Even during the 2005 trial when Michael was being accused again, Jordan was in college at that point, wearing Michael Jackson shirts, and told his classmates that Michael was not capable of harming children. And then Jordan fled the country when Tom Sneddon tried to force him to testify by sending him a subpoena. So, yeah. You might not be able to share secrets of companies when it comes to clients or maybe secret recipes with restaurants. I don't know. But saying that those agreements will silence you if someone abuses you at your work, that's bullshit. And if that's really how they're being treated in Hollywood, they need a serious wake-up call. And the people who are abusing people in Hollywood need to be held accountable. I don't care how big they are in the industry. Because people need to be safe wherever they work. Alright, so I think this was a good episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I will see you soon. We're still 23 subscribers away from 1,000. So let's spread the word. Let's keep it going. Alright, I love you guys. I'll see you later.